first and foremost, which is always a missing factor, is obedience. How can you try and control an animal that is being aggressively trained if you can't control the animal? And it's the first thing all of these fly-by-nights, I'm going to call them fly-by-nights, trainers do, is that they're agitating an animal. And some of their methods and their forms of agitation as well border on cruelty. They inflict pain. As far as I'm concerned, I've seen some of them. It's almost torture. Just like children, animals learn what you teach them. You teach them pain, you teach them agitation to the point where it becomes senseless. They're going to do it. Wouldn't a child, you've ever heard of children warriors or soldiers? They're the most effective and most cruelest of them all. They have no compassion because they were trained to do so. Dogs are no different. They're like children. They do what you teach them to do. If you don't socialize them, they will become antisocial. You don't control them. Then why do you think you're going to be able to tell a dog in mid-flight who's rushing down a child or somebody that you don't want them to bite to stop if you never taught it in the first place? It's just common sense.
You touched on one where I want to go next. When, as part of the training process, when is it tough love and when is it abuse?
Abuse, tough love. How would you describe tough love? I'm firm with my animals. And I would never say to anybody I'm not firm. Maybe not as firm as others, but I think I'm quite firm. My voice is what I use most of all. I use my tone of voice. I'm not really into hitting anything, not even my own kids. Voice is everything. But when I see people using electrical wire to agitate and beat the animal to show a reaction, or strips, sticks, and that is common, as you know. They do. That can't be right. What do you achieve? Have you ever been hit by a piece of electrical wire?
I wouldn't want it.
No. So why would the animal has no other choice but to become reactive? You're not creating a truly trained aggressive dog. You're creating a problem. But pit bulls, they were called nanny dogs. They were nanny dogs in the days of old because they were left behind to take care of the women and children. When the men went out to go and hunt or do whatever they had to do, because they're great protection. They take training quickly. They love to please. They do have a high pain threshold. Their jaws cannot lock.
That's part of the perception.
It's so ridiculous. There's been scientific study after scientific study. Does not lock. It's just the shape of the mouth and the amount of pressure they can exert. Just like a Rottweiler or a Mastiff or whatever. You can't even bite fleas though. Anyway, but you know what? If you go through some of the research anyway, in the 70s, Dobermans had a terrible rap. Why? Because they became popular. Then you will have maybe German Shepherds in the 80s because they became popular. And then you would have higher incidences of dog bites by the specific breeds. So when we have like the pit bull, I know you can't support all that weight. When you have the pit bull who became so popular, what do we have? A higher incident of pit bull attacks. The same thing with Rottweilers. It's fads. When a breed becomes very popular, you will automatically get a higher rate of dog bites.
And just lastly, what's the proper way to keep and care for your animal?
Definitely adequate food, water, and shelter. And I don't mean a tree. What else do we need, Destiny? Tell me what else you need. Love is not a requirement, but it's nice. Attention, they need socialization. It is a must. I don't care what anybody says. This is why we are where we are. You need to be responsible. Keep your animal in the confines of your own property. They don't belong on the road. They're not everybody else's problem. Pay them attention. socialize them properly. They don't have to be biting everything that moves. That's not attractive. And guess what? Those are the animals that when they come to clinics like here to be treated, because they are so difficult to manage. We have had dogs come here, the owners cannot even treat their own animals, like dress a wound. And because they cannot manage, they bring them here for us to have to manage. And what we have to go through on a daily basis to treat and dress that animal, to be honest, is unreasonable. It's taking 2-3 people to handle their animal safely without them getting bitten, without injuring the animal any further, because you can't touch it. What is the point of having an animal like that? What do you achieve? That's not protection. You need to properly socialize your children, your animals, and have control over them. And like I said, I do regret the death of people, and many people in this life have died. But the rat, and let's be honest, the rat and the mosquito have killed far more. I haven't seen anybody screaming out and making sure that they are eradicated yet.